It means a lot to me to be playing with some of the best again.
Honestly, it didn't feel like I played that good today.
You know, I feel really good. It's been a really tough season for me. Had a lot of, you know, hard times on and off the disc golf course, and it feels really good. It's a breath of fresh air just to kind of be back in the mix and feel like I belong here, and I've been kind of doubting myself sometimes this year. You know, it always means a lot to me. You know, you got the title on there, United States Disc Golf Championship, and I won back in 2009, and then I've taken second place 3 times since then, so it's always in the back of my mind that you were there, you can do this again.
I was right on that 33 feet to 40 feet range all day today, and I don't know, once I made that first one, once that one went in, it came out really smooth, and I was just confident with it and comfortable.
A good way to describe it is when the round's not going exactly the best, I was able to birdie and kind of execute on shots that were pretty difficult. When it comes down to the end of the tournament, those couple strokes are going to help me a lot. Obviously, 11 under par, great round and all, but I think there is a lot of room to improve.
Hello and welcome to round 3 coverage of the 2024 United States Disc Golf Championship presented by Innova. We're here in Rock Hill, South Carolina for Saturday action from the United States Disc Golf Championship. You're watching JomezPro, Nate Sexton, Jerm, Koling, Ulibarri.
Cream is starting to rise to the top, guys, and always does here at the 4-round events, especially at the major championships. And we have got 4 incredible players here competing for a major title. We are halfway through the event, and look who's at the top. We've got Anthony Barela, we got Gannon Buhr today, obviously a one-time U.S. champion, now a multiple-time major champion, still 19 years old. Pretty incredible stuff there. But Anthony Barela, he got the monkey off the back early in the season, hadn't won a big tour event. Now he's won 4 this season. He is showing poise. Man, his putt looks smooth and steady yesterday. And this guy right here, my goodness, he has just been absolutely electric lately. So consistent. You mentioned it yesterday, Nate. When he misses a line by a little bit, it just looks so weird because he's so dead on with his line. And the 2009 U.S. champion, 3-time runner-up, Nikko Locastro. Seeing him play good disc golf is so good because, like he said, he's had some issues this year believing in himself, and seeing a veteran like him put some things together, it's going to be exciting to see how he competes with the new guard versus the old guard.
Going into hole 1, we have a par 3, 283 feet, mandatory left and right down the gut, over the rocks, over the log. This is a momentum getter. If you can get this one to start your round, you're going to be feeling pretty good.
2022 United States Disc Golf Champion, this is Gannon Buhr.
And Buhr with the 11 under yesterday with a couple of bogeys.
I think the camera adds about 6 feet to this gap. If you sit here in person, it is very small.
And it's farther away than I think you probably think it is at watching at home.
And pulls it to the right, but gets through that big guardian tree at the bottom of the hill. Open look from inside the circle.
So at 18 strokes under par so far on the weekend from Scottsdale, Arizona, Anthony Barela.
Anthony didn't get it over enough yesterday. Looks like...
Needs to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Yeah, you love that. Call that 27 feet.
And just 2 strokes off the lead from Lawrenceville, Georgia, Isaac Robinson.
Doesn't look like there's very much wind. That flag is completely standing still.
It's probably... It was calm. Wind picked up at times throughout the day, but for the most part, it wasn't a big factor.
Pretty much a perfect weather day, I would say.
Really, truly was. Perfect October, South Carolina weather. And that's a perfect line.
He's trying to make it, I think.
It's just amazing his ability to throw it straight at something.
Louis, Missouri, just 3 strokes off the lead, and your 2009 United States Disc Golf Champion, Nikko Locastro.
Most people like to flip something up or flex something. Isaac just goes laser beams.
Talk about a guy who can throw a putter.
He can do it all.
One of the original just great throwers of the putter, like a generation, you know, that started a lot of good things.
I think the thing that's been the trickiest part of Nikko's continued success into this part of his career has been a lack of trust in the putt as Isaac misses left.
Oh,
But not
getting some legs.
Okay, sit down. Oh, that just was never online there for Anthony. Our newer viewers will not remember the time when Nikko Locastro was #1 in the world when if he had a 45-foot putt, he was step putting it in and it was going in the basket.
To be fair, I mean, that was
2000.
before JomezPro.
That was 2009, 2009 to 2011.
Yep.
Sometime in that era.
Yep. I can remember that version of Nikko, and you still see that guy sometimes. I mean, nobody stays #1 forever at anything. But wow, I mean, some of his best finishes in those years were just unbelievable.
Gannon Buhr taking one on Isaac and AB, and Nikko with a nice starting birdie.
Yeah, Nikko, 4 consecutive Player of the Years he got under his belt. That's pretty dang good. Bino Mekala on the tee with the standstill and the hyzer and the perfection.
Oh,
So sweet.
he has been a joy to watch so far this week with his countryman Nicolas Antala. Very similar line. A little bit more pull. Be a good way to start the third round with a big bomb putt here for Nicolas. He makes so many of those. And the way that he putts, he really does need a lot of swing at that 50 to 60-foot range.
Yeah.
Yet he still cashes in, I don't know, I want to say at like a 20 to 25% clip at those 60-foot range putts.
Yeah, if it's a calm day, he's finding metal from that range.
Really impressive consistency.
Go up ahead to hole 4, Ricky.
That's as straight as it gets right there. That was beautiful.
Wow.
That'll get him 2 out of the first 4
Oh,
holes.
absolutely under it. Wow. This is one of those holes where people who come here and play it for the first time are surprised at how far that hole plays. It looks pretty short in camera, but that is a very impressive tee shot.
A little to be wanted on that one.
I'll see how much he wants it with this putt he's got coming up. He wants it a lot.
Wow.
That's insane. That is so
That
confident.
out of bounds is 10 feet behind the basket. That is absolutely huge. Official hot start for Ricky Wysocki at 3 down.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Player of the Year, we got, how many has Gannon won? Is this, he's sitting on 6.
6 or 7 wins, I think.
6 with a major?
There's no question, right?
Well, what happens if Anthony wins USDGC and the last one? Is there a talk? Or
I
is
think it depends a lot on Gannon. We had some of this conversation on the DGN.
Yeah.
And I think if Gannon Buhr was in 50th and Anthony won,
Oh, good point.
then
yeah,
you kind of start to go, okay,
Yeah.
like maybe it is Anthony. But if Gannon Buhr is going punch for punch and right there to the
right.
end, even if Anthony won both, I still think I might lean
Ooh.
Gannon Buhr.
Very.
Well, he's just been so consistent
Shaky.
all year.
Yes.
Like only 1 out of the top 10 or something.
Yes.
Nuts. It's
And-
one of the best seasons we've ever seen.
Yes, and Anthony will certainly throw up, he's thrown up a couple 40th and 50th.
Oh, yeah.
Through the season.
Yeah, I think it doesn't really much matter what happens at this point. I think it's a lock for me. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. At least it will be a conversation starter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's always good to have the
This is
conversation.
the first time we've seen Anthony at a major since the European Open, really in contention.
yeah.
because he's had a few and really hasn't performed well at the majors.
Since 2 years ago, European Open is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Because he didn't play well this year. There, Worlds, no, didn't see his name, and the PDGA Championship. So it's good to see him.
A fortunate tree for him there. That was going to be drifting out of bounds. Meanwhile, Isaac has had this hole dialed in.
Yeah. I mean, his angles are nuts, and this is such a tight green.
This is a little bit of a nervy approach. Good width there. Not going to have to worry about the OB to the right of the pin, and not going to have to worry about a putt.
Yeah, you said it. I think width there, the most important thing, because that OB is waiting for you on that right side. If you were to like kind of,
if you hit near the pin,
yeah, absolutely, you're probably done.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a good job trusting that.
AB, after the fortunate tree hit, tries to give it a big bid there from 65, maybe even farther.
That's around that same distance he missed on hole 1. See if he can clean that up. Nikko for golden start right here. Oh, he wanted that.
I believed it.
Looked good for a long time.
Isaac, 2 days in a row, left side chains. 2 days in a row, first 2 putts on 1 and 2 have been left side.
Useful. All right, few pars.
I have seen an assortment of different types of threes on hole 2. I've seen drives go out of bounds, people make the putt. I've seen people throw really bad drives, get up and down. I've seen people miss putts. Not many 2s, but a lot of different ways to get the 3. It's a tough get.
Yeah, you got to earn this one. Total bonus birdie, like we were talking about yesterday. Super specific. The ground play is so dangerous, right and left, and it's over 400 feet. So you got to find a way to land the thing near flat.
Perfect conditions too. It's still only getting birdie at 14%. It's a very low percentage on tour.
Hole 3, par 4, 834. OB bubble on the left side, little circle of out of bounds right. This Mando tree is what makes the hole difficult. I think you have to stay left there and then swing hard right down this little hill into the cove. Really tough birdie. You kind of have to throw a fantastic drive to even have a prayer at birdie, and then from there it's a pretty technical forehand where angle is really important, your skip point is really important to try to get down there for any kind of C1 putt.
How far do you think you need to throw it to get a good look? And I'm not talking distance in air, like power.
450?
Okay. Minimum 450. I think that ideally you're looking at the 480 range just to get a good look at it.
Yeah, and I think if your forehand is not a shot you really like to throw, then you need more. If you're a competent, solid forehand thrower, I think you maybe can get away with a little shorter drive.
So Nikko really puts a nice move on this. I'm thinking with the wily vet, is he going to drop that roller?
He certainly could. That's a good angle, I would think.
I'm excited to see this one.
Now, if Anthony can just slip this past the Mando in 1.
Oh, whoa.
I mean, if anyone could.
He probably kind of could.
Well,
if
I like
he wanted to, don't you think?
I think he could. I mean, today he makes the correction and doesn't go out of bounds long and left. He turns it over a little bit more and make sure he's safe.
I mean, we saw Ezra Ader hold in the very bottom of the ditch with just like a chip shot, so.
Incredible.
And overturned for Isaac. Going to be a really tricky roller angle from there.
Yeah, nothing.
I would say not worth it.
Yeah,
Not
you're
worth
right.
it.
I'm with you there.
So roller's not, it's just added risk, and there's no chance that you're getting to C2.
Is he a sidearm player now?
I think from here on out, I heard, and I don't know if this is true, we're going to have to wait and see, but I heard from this point forward he threw no more backhands.
Oh, wow. The trade went through.
I think so. Because I was slinging backhands around.
Wow.
And it happened very late in my round. A hole 18, something came over me.
Look at this from Nikko, just outside the circle with his forehand approach. Very well played thus far. Going to have a look to get to 2 under. AB, does this have enough skip angle? I mean, that's roughly as good as you hope to do.
Yeah, that's really good.
I say in round 1, there were 3 players parked for birdie, and 0 in round 2, and only 1 in round 3. Just to show you, I mean, parked is a good indication of how close people are getting in general. That also says that not many people are getting close to the circle, is what it tells me.
Sure, I agree with you.
Do you think that Gannon is... Do you think the basket should be scared from where he is, or is that a layup? 90% of the field's laying it up.
I think it shouldn't be too scared, especially when Gannon steps up that quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. No decision making. It's just...
I think it could be scared here, though. Nikko has some birdie eyes right now.
Good effort.
Couple inches from being 3 under through 3.
Not a basket you want to run with a lot of pace. A lot of low misses on hole 3. You can find yourself with an awkward comeback putt so quick if you don't draw metal.
Wow.
Well, I think that stayed in, but our card walked in front of the way.
I feel like you could almost say that about the USDGC in general. Like a lot of low missed putts because there's a lot of slopes, tall baskets, OB right next to it, water right next to it. It's a hard place to muster the commitment required.
Yep. I think it's one of the toughest putting courses in the world. There's never, you know, maybe on the next hole, there's not a lot that can go wrong.
Yeah, but a lot of exposed greens where you're kind of feeling a little wind. You're worried about this, you know.
And this is probably the most exposed.
Yep.
This one and hole 17 have a.
It's not going to be a tough putt.
Are in the same ballpark. I think they're related as far as the OB being close.
So Niklas goes birdie, par, bogey, par, birdie. Going back to the point, I think so many times you see a player be able to play hole 18 for bogey and walk away the champion. But that battle with Niklas and Gannon was so epic because they both birdied like the last 5 or 4 holes or something where they really pushed each other to the limit. The huge putt from Gannon on 17, and then they both birdied 18. Gannon had to birdie 18 to win by 1.
It's fantastic.
It was incredible stuff.
Exactly what we're looking for.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
That's not what you're looking for, but the kick off
Pretty
to
good.
the left side is fine.
I mean, fortunate to make enough progress to clear that Mando. He was heading right pretty early.
Yep. Yeah, Nicholas, just to go back for a second, is like kind of a major killer. Like he's taken runner-up a lot in the last couple of years. A lot. Like over 3 times, I think, which is pretty incredible. So, you know, he's going to put something together for us today.
And he started off this event, even par?
Yeah, not
is
great.
Way behind the leaders. It's hard to come back from that, but dropped out 10 under yesterday to get himself back into the mix.
Isaac heavy on the hyzer and catches the tree limb. I don't think he was... I think he was going towards the trees anyway. That limb didn't do much. Yep, as easy as it gets right there.
Do you remember when Gannon banked his putt off the tree from 100 feet on this hole?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's a real shocker. Pretty wide gap. A little lapse in focus, maybe.
And a certified slow start for Isaac now, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 1 over through 4.
I know hole 3 is a tough get, but I think he is certainly expecting to get good looks on 1 and 2, which he did and was unable to capitalize.
And,
Look at this, man.
I mean, 4 as well. He's definitely expecting to be birdie putting on 4, and it's going to be bogey. Great putt from Nikko.
And once again, Nikko is just a couple of inches on 2 putts and away from being 4th through 4. Awesome to see him putting well, throwing the disc really well as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to call it a slow start for the card. You know, Nikko 2 under. 1 under's on pace, I think, through 4. I think that's the mark. You either get 1 or you get hole 1's the one you want to get, and then a bonus birdie in there. I would consider 4 kind of a bonus birdie. We just saw Isaac, the best straight thrower in the world, take a bogey.
Great drive from both Nikko and Anthony. Nice putts as well.
Emerson Keith, 7 under through 9?
Wow. What a front.
Wow.
Hole 5, par 5, 1,025 feet. Out of bounds in the lake, obviously, in the road on the right. 3 shots, get to around here, and then go over. We saw yesterday a few people struggle on this hole, really hanging it out wide, see if they can figure it out, and I would really like to see these guys go after the pin, because if you cover the water, you have pretty much easy tapping, you know?
350, 350, 325 will put you under the basket if each shot's where you want it to go.
For the longest time, this was known as the Arizona hole. Might be still, I'm not sure. But
They changed up the states at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know which states stayed the same and which ones didn't, but
yeah. We know the next one's the Florida beach hole, but this was...
is it really? Is it? That would make sense.
Yeah.
I thought they said at the opening ceremonies that Florida was getting a double both of these holes, just to kind of honor the struggle
They
of
took-
the
okay.
hurricane
well,
victims and everything.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Arizona gladly gives.
I just feel like even though the distance says that you can go 350, 350, 325, I'm just not buying it. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually threw 350, 350, like, there's no 325 at the end of that rainbow.
I agree. Doesn't feel that way at all.
Like, the numbers say so, but I think that spot is somewhere in the middle of the lake. Like, the spot that's 325 away. I'm just not buying that.
Isaac's put himself in a tricky position, not a spot he's used to, and he has to go stall hyzer over the bushes. I kind of like it.
Yeah, really
lot
good.
to like.
That's so good from there.
And it's
I mean,
close to the lake. Yeah.
the fact that he gets it flat over those, it doesn't lift, and then it has the nice stall finish that can dig in that thicker grass. I still think that they did everybody a favor by mowing 1/2 inch higher this year. I stick by that.
Okay.
Because a lot of these things skipped in years past big time.
It's just that subtle difference in the way that Isaac approaches shots, too, because you saw Nikko there, full hyzer, just like you'd expect. Gannon Buhr, hyzer angle out of the hand, digging back down. I would almost argue Isaac did not throw a hyzer. You call it stall hyzer. That's it. That's more what it is.
Right.
It's like there's no angle on it out of his hand. It's flat and committed to a spot, and obviously the disc eventually hyzers.
Exactly,
but
yep.
nobody else is throwing that from that spot, right? I mean, everyone is putting intentional hyzer on an overstable disc, swinging it wide, making sure that it doesn't glide. It's just a subtly different approach to the exact same problem.
Okay, this is
Yeah, that's a big shot.
460 to the pin.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know if I would call it that far, but
Oh, no.
this is gonna be a problem. Nikko certainly never crossed. I don't think he crossed, and yeah, he's pointing back the other side.
The point of death.
Yeah, that's not a point he wants to make either. But
the spotter saying there, no advancement. You're going to have to throw from the edge of the lake back there. That's what he's signaling to the players. And that's what you are hoping not to see.
Very nice shot.
Yeah, that is great. Into circle 1.
Textbook play there from Gannon all the way through.
So you're calling this 325, Jerm?
Not 320. No, yeah.
This is like 390.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Boy.
But that's a fine mistake to me.
Yeah.
You know, that's yesterday they all went short. Then they had a decision to make. The hole's pretty much over.
Yeah,
make a 20-footer and get a par, and it's
Yeah,
the same thing.
You take a risk, go for birdie. You could.
Oh, I was gonna say that needed to put its brakes, but it actually.
That touch though. Let's talk about it.
Oh. Okay.
Because the line is pretty high up that. I think it sounds like they're giving him the advance.
Well, you see the spotter point to
Down.
the ground like he did.
And he was very close to the spot, so
Yep. I'm sure it's the right call.
Yep.
But yeah, what I was saying, you know, what you're saying with Anthony, I totally agree. You take the risk to play for birdie. Certainly you could lay that up, obvious par. But if you go right past the pin, same difference, you know? The guy's got a couple extra discs.
You're fine with a. Oh boy, this is going to go a B.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, there's no way to miss that putt at that speed and stay in bounds. This is going to be a big number here for Isaac. Double bogey coming. Nikko to save the bogey. Great putt. Impressed with what I'm seeing so far.
That was a fantastic putt. For bogey, keeps him in the race. That's still 1 under.
Yep.
Just fine. What was this hole playing like today, Jerm?
Well, I mean, with the conditions being calm, it's certainly more attackable. That being said, it still is playing 0.21 over par. Quarter of the field nearly, 24% of the field able to get the birdie. Gannon being one of those. But still, I mean, pretty monster hole. You're going to see a lot of double bogeys. 11%. Nearly half the amount of birdies. There was that many double bogeys or worse.
Man.
So
It's just such an evil pin location. That close to the edge, it makes perfect sense that you're going to get a lot of out of bounds, a lot of close calls.
Ricky Wysocki going for it on 10, and he loves it. Gives the clap of satisfaction.
Look at all those birdies.
And that's a big one here. This has been a tournament that has been avoiding or evading Ricky Wysocki his entire career. He had one really good chance about 10 years ago to win this thing. Kind of fell apart at the end. Love to be on that lead card final round. Finally take home a U.S. title.
8 down through 10, 18 under. I mean, he's quite a few holes up the course, but what a charge he's putting on.
The beach hole, 371. Keep it straight as an arrow for as long as you can with something that's got a little tiny bit of bite at the end. Got to avoid that right side OB and, of course, the water left. Once you skip over towards the beach, you have to put the brakes on because it's not always a guarantee that you're going to stay on the sand. About a 45-foot drop zone for any OB shots.
These guys have been throwing kind of all hyzer. I like either flat or anhyzer here.
I like this. If this gets a little edge, yeah, that's fantastic.
I mean, that's as good as you can play.
That, you know, unfortunate that it hit the brakes and now he's got a 14-footer instead of a 9-footer.
Look at him, he's frustrated.
Yeah, it's like, I think I heard it hit a brick.
No, he's tall enough. He can see it. He's taller than you, Jerm. I know that's weird.
It is. It's really weird. He's the first player on tour that's been taller than me in this whole 16 years I've been doing this thing.
And I think AB got away with it right there. I think the skips kind of made the disc go flat. I think if it held its initial angle, that was going to be in the water.
Oh, is this enough to hold on?
I like the shape.
It's going to be close.
Oh,
wow. My gosh.
Even with the anhyzer,
That was kind of cool, actually.
Isaac needs a birdie pretty bad right now.
Flat. Love it.
And I guess since it's perfect. It's kind of, I don't know, our routine to announce this, but I believe neither Paul nor I had watched any of the coverage, and neither of us know the results before watching this. So this is live for both of us. And is it the same for you, Nate, or do you know what's going on?
I don't know everything.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Nikko again.
What a putt. He keeps putting like this. He's gonna stay in the mix for a long time.
Yes.
AB putting himself at this distance a lot today, which I would say is a good distance to put yourself out here.
Stays bogey free. 2 under par now for the day. Three under for our card. As long as Isaac can make this one. Important birdie for him. It gets him to 2 over through 6. Certainly way back of what he was hoping for. But still time to salvage a good round.
Well, he's lucky that nobody on the card has just got them all.
Mm-hmm.
He really is, because if that were to happen, then we start being like, oh, kind of goodbye Isaac. But they've kind of let him off the hook here.
Hole 7, par 3, 284, triple mandatory through the bamboo. Got to just take out a nice straight disc if you're going backhand. Throw it hard, throw it low. Try to make sure you get under that ceiling restriction. If you want to go forehand, you can swing it a little bit wider and try to drag it through on the hyzer finish. That's what we saw from Gannon Buhr. Very wide yesterday. I bet he'll do a similar thing here.
Man, this is just coming in at such a narrow angle.
I like the play. The reason why is because of the wide height. You're never going to just completely miss the whole thing. It's a smaller gap, but because it's coming in on hyzer and wide, the distance really makes the whole entire structure easier to hit, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
AB making a good correction to at least stay in bounds today, missing the mandatory yesterday. Got a very makeable putt from the edge of the bamboo.
I guess if you throw straight, you're a big miss. You're missing the whole structure. Oh, jeez. Talk about yeah. If he can get a couple and get under par on the front 9, job done.
Oh, certainly at this point. Even par 31 on the front 9 would be a very, very good finish for him going into the back. All right, so some outside the bamboo length putts coming up here. First up, Gannon Buhr. Never on line. Perfect height as usual. And that's the most off he has been on his putt all day. Still drawing some metal.
Yeah, right on target. Just needs to get the height right.
And I think that attitude that you see from Nikko, that's just something that's always been a part of it. But I've seen that from him in the past, and it sometimes leads to him not believing in himself. And I hope that that's not something that's setting in, because when he is a fully confident player, he is such an entertaining disc golfer to watch play.
Yeah, and I'd actually have a little pushback. I don't think it's ever good when you're on a lead card of a major championship to be that frustrated. You know, because not only I don't think it's good for your mental, but you're also showing your competitors, hey, I'm frustrated, you know?
Sure.
Ricky with a bomb diggity drive on 12.
Sure it is. way up past the drop zone.
Probably about 315, 320 to the basket.
Dunk it.
And Fern's pumped. Fern's one of the best cheerleaders in the sport. He loves to see his player doing well, and I'd call that doing pretty well right there.
Look at that scorecard.
That's a 10 under, or 9 under in the last 9 holes. Yikes.
Wow. Course record watch.
Yikes. That puts him in a tie for second place right now, just one back of Gannon. Look at all the scores. I mean, Adam Hammis, 8 under. No one else is really close to Ricky right now at 10 under, and he's just through 12 holes. My goodness. That is ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Good for him.
Hole 8, par 4, 697. All kinds of gaps. Hyzer on the right side. You do have OB on the left a little bit, like a little bunker there, and then sidearm flex shot, second shot in to get past all these little guardian bunkers. If you can do that, maybe a roller, get up here on the hill, give yourself a chance. Really, it's about position on the first shot. Don't hit any of these trees. It's pretty, I think this is a pretty forgiving fairway though.
Goodness.
It's really high.
That wins that's the record.
He likes height.
That's the highest shot ever thrown on this hole that landed in the middle of the fairway.
It must be mid-range, I would think.
Yes. He has a yellow mid-range, and he has a green one. And the yellow one's a little flippier.
Man, that is inches from disaster for Gannon. That hits the farthest left part of that tree and kicks directly left. That can go out of bounds, but does get around it, and now is in a great spot.
Whoa. That's a tree you don't see hit very often. He went more swingy than I think most players do. It was more of a true hyzer. I think the cleaner line is a flat to fade.
You could go and flex down the middle, and that works out.
Interesting play. You guys do the flex, or you go straight highs?
Give me that flat to fade, baby.
Yeah.
This year I went hyzer, but in the past I've gone down the middle, that Nikko line, but a little bit lower.
Okay.
I like a lot about this. It stood up a little bit quicker than I think he would have liked.
Yeah, he never got the push off the hill, even though I did like the angle for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just never grabbed.
Needs to hit just a tiny bit higher on that hill, I think, to hold the cut.
Hurry. Oh, that was good, too.
That was such a good shot. Just gets tripped up.
A little bit left. Yeah, same tree.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Just a huge bounce to start.
Ooh, don't jump
that would have been...
That was scary. Goes
At
over
that slow of a
fence, you're out of
speed.
bounds. Just stay safe.
And I'll say this is a very, very awkward short approach with the forehand.
Yeah, he does
That's
well.
great.
Don't.
That's
keep it tight.
That's great. Hard to do.
Oh, going with the Annie through there.
I think he's going hyzer.
Okay, hyzer. Yeah. Kind of looked like he was setting up for that straight
he does
shot.
that. The way he sets up, it is hard to read.
Does okay there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fine. Par's just fine. Also a tricky one.
I think it's tricky because, maybe not trying to go for it, but you could almost get a little bit aggressive from that range. I feel like if you got the nose, if you got the height, you can give a little soft bit at it.
This is a great spot to send one.
Oh my goodness.
What a putt.
And he's already back to even now. He's got a chance to get under par on the front.
Probably the most runnable putt on all of Winthrop. Because you have finally, it's not a drop off behind it. You have a little uphill. You can just go full gas. Beautiful shot from Isaac.
That thing did not flutter a bit. It was a perfectly smooth release. And it's not to say that flutter is necessarily a bad thing, but it was just something I noticed. It didn't move one bit off the plane.
Nobody wants flutter. Even if it's good, you don't want it.
It's just pretty, dude. To get a clean flight like that, it's just something nice about it.
Exactly.
Our leaderboard there, all within 5 strokes. That means it's going to be an exciting finish. We've got 28 holes to go.
Hole 9, par 3, 362. Everything short of that line is out of bounds, as well as long of the line behind the basket. And if you go out of bounds, you have that very tricky little drop zone about 50 feet from the pin.
Highs are wide. Can it dig?
It's gonna barely stay in bounds, but that's a no-go. That's gonna. I don't think there's a chance to make the putt really from over there.
Maybe that little hole.
It's got to go through the tree, right? You would think.
Yeah, he might just lay it up though.
Kind of a
Kyle ruined it for all of us.
tiny hazard.
Oh boy, that's.
You know, him and AB
Pushing it.
have been dancing around those OB lines this week.
That's kind of how it goes for the guys at the top of this tournament, I think. You got to have, when it's your year, when you're playing real well, obviously everyone's going to have a couple horror stories, but you need a couple of those nice bounces where it just stays barely in bounds. There's just too much rope out here for it to go any other way.
A nice throw from AB.
You also need a lot of those that never get even close to out of bounds
Right.
to be up near the lead of this tournament.
Hyzering in soft. Does it bounce over? And is that far enough? It is. There is a little bit of space between those rocks and inbound territory. And
Oh,
you
I
can
see.
here.
I
This
see the
is-
hole though.
Yeah.
You can see the hole through there. How did he make that?
I think Kyle was left at that spot
Okay,
where he had the
okay.
hyzer opening.
All right, scary putt here.
You guys remember how I said that Conrad hit the cage yesterday and Tom said, oh, if that had gone in, you see some old guys dancing around?
Yeah.
Well, I played with Aaron Gossage today, folks, and I got to see some old guys dancing around. Slammed in the ace.
Whoa.
It was really cool.
Did they have some cool moves?
They were true to their word. They danced around. It was sweet. Gannon missing another putt for birdie and AB taking advantage, and he is now going to tie up Gannon at the top as long as GB is able to clean up the par.
Yeah. Twice he's missed this putt on this hole.
Yeah, I think Gossage threw a buzz OS and just threw it as hard as he could, and he would have been at the Chancellor's doorstep if he did not hit the chains.
Hey,
That
maybe
thing was
playing a
ripping.
ricochet off the bushes.
Maybe. But congrats to him.
All right. Well, interesting front nine
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Not a lot of fireworks, but a lot of good play still. A lot of good shots. Nikko struggling a little bit. Anthony and Barela going back and forth. But I feel like the story of the day so far is Ricky, 10 through 12.
And you know Ricky and those 3 fins shooting 5, 7, and 6 are looking at the leaderboard going, thank you, fellas. Like, go ahead,
Yep.
slow it down. Go ahead. You guys have your fight. 3 unders all you got on the front 9. We're coming back for you. We're going to see if we can close the gap down. Ricky's the one who's really fully bridged it at this point. But a lot of the best golf being played out there today is not on this lead card.
Well, we've got 9 more holes and then a final round to go here at the 2024 USDGC, the 26th edition of the Major Champion here at Winthrop Lake. It's going to be exciting. See you guys in the back nine.